Welcome to From Chaos to Peace with Conny. My name is Conny Graf and I am your host. I'm here to explore with you, often solo and sometimes with a guest, how a few minutes a day can keep the chaos away. And with chaos, I'm talking about the physical, digital, social, financial, mental, emotional, and spiritual clutter that can accumulate in our life and business. In every episode, I want to make you aware how clutter is so much more than you think and why I say that clearing your clutter is self-love. Well, hello, my friend. Welcome to the podcast. This is episode number 178. Thank you so much for allowing me back into your ears. Please subscribe and follow my podcast if you haven't done so yet. This way you never miss an episode, and share it with your family and friends. Because if you find value in what I'm talking about on this podcast, they will too. So today I want to continue with another quick way on how to reduce financial chaos in your business finances. And you can also use those in your personal finances, or they actually have an effect on your personal finances. Again, I will make this very short so it's not overwhelming, and I make it very actionable. This is tip number 3 in the series. And if you haven't listened to the first 2 tips yet, no worries. You just go listen to them after this episode. Tip number 1 is in episode 175, and tip number 2 is in episode 176. So financial clutter and chaos is very overwhelming because all our money decisions and indecisions and all our financial chaos is fueled with our emotions. But just like with anything, you can start very small, tiny if needed. But you do need to start, and it doesn't help to stick the head in the sand. So listen to these really simple tips and start doing them. So the first tip from episode number 175 was to always put aside the sales tax that you collect when you invoice your clients. Don't ever look at this money as your money. It isn't. Go back to this episode and hear all the details. The second tip from episode 176 is to always put a percentage of your revenue from the money that you get from your clients away for taxes. How much is not as straightforward as with the sales taxes, where you know exactly how much the sales tax amount is. With these taxes, it depends on where you live and how much expenses you can claim in your business, etc. But go back to episode 176 to hear all the details about that tip. And now we get to tip number 3, and maybe this should actually have been tip number 1, but here we are, it's tip number 3. And this is another very simple and easy step or tip that you can implement in your business right away, and it is this. Always, 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 and I say it again, always have a separate bank account and a separate credit card for your business, and never, never use the business bank account or credit card for private expenses or vice versa. This really should go without saying, but unfortunately, I come across so many small business owners who don't keep their business and personal finances separate. Especially when they're self-employed and have not incorporated their business yet, they think it's all them and it doesn't matter when they mix the expenses and the incomes, but it does. Haven't you discovered that paperwork, even if it's digital paperwork, is overwhelming enough on its own? Trust me, when you mix business expenses with personal expenses, business receipts with personal and private receipts, it gets way worse, and it gets also very expensive because it results in a big chaos that then has to be sorted either by you, and I'm pretty sure you don't want to do this, or then by a bookkeeper or accountant. But they don't do that for free, and it is very tiring. I can tell you from experience. So you will have to pay way more to have your balance sheet and profit and loss statements created for tax purposes if you have such a chaos. And it's really simple. Just keep these expenses separate. If you're self-employed, you need to dedicate one of your private bank accounts as a business account and one of your credit cards as a business credit card. And then you keep everything separate. If your business is already incorporated, then you definitely need a bank account in your business's name, not in your name, in your business's name. But here too, don't mix. Don't pay private bills from that account or pay business bills from your private account. It really creates a big chaos. If you don't have enough money, let's say, on your business account, whether that's for a corporation or the dedicated business account when you're self-employed, if you don't have enough money on that account to pay a business invoice, don't go and pay it from your private account. What you do need to do is you make a transfer from your private account over to your business account. This is like giving your business a loan. I would always make it a round amount. So either $100, $250, or $500 or something round. And then make that transfer from your private account to your business account and then pay that business invoice from your business account. Trust me, this is not making things complicated. On the contrary, this is making things clear and simple. I had several clients who mixed private and business expenses in their accounts back and forth, and it's really a nightmare to later separate and get their books done for tax purposes. It's so much easier, cheaper, and less time-consuming to keep it all separate from the get-go. So that's tip number 3. Really simple, right? Just keep the bank account and credit card separate. So to summarize, tip number 1 was put aside the sales tax part of each sale into a separate bank account, and that should also be a business bank account without saying, right? This is not your money. So keep it and never spend it. Tip number 2, put aside a percentage of each sale that you make, like 10% or 15%, and also put that in a separate business bank account so that when you get your tax bill, you have the money sitting there and ready and no drama. Tip number 3 is have a separate bank account and a separate credit card for your business and never mix it. Never put private expenses on the business credit card or vice versa, business expenses on the private credit card. As I said in every episode before so far, these tips are really not groundbreaking or mind-blowing. But what is mind-blowing to me is that so many small business owners are not doing them. They are not following these simple tips. But unless you do them, you will keep struggling with your financial chaos. So please go put these 3 really, really simple steps into action. You can start today. Don't worry that we're already in June. Start today and put these tips in place in your business. And remember, reducing chaos is self-love and self-care. And if you still struggle with chaos in your home office, your files, or in your finances, and you know you need to make a change, but don't seem to be able to do it on your own, and if it seems too scary or overwhelming, you can contact me because I can help. You can bring your chaos to me, and I will be on your team. I will help you face your chaos, and together we will figure out what's the best thing for you to do for a few minutes a day to transform your chaos and to get organized and in control. You can message me on Instagram. My handle is I am Conny Graf. Or you can send me an email or sign up for a complimentary Chaos to Peace session. The link to it is in the show notes. And the show notes are at connygraf.com/podcast/178. That is Conny Graf, ConnyGraf.com/podcast/178. Okay, my friend, that is it for this week. Thank you for listening all the way to the end. And again, if you love my podcast, you can really help me by going to Apple Podcast and write a review. This will help that more people find this podcast and can move from chaos to peace in their life and business. Have a beautiful and amazing week. Talk to you next time. Take good care and be safe. If you enjoyed this podcast episode and you want to go on a journey from chaos to peace in your home, office, and finances with me as your guide, opportunities to work with me one-on-one are available. Go to connygraf.com, CONNYGRAF.com to schedule your own personal Clutter to Clarity chat. And we will see if working together is a great fit. That is connygraf.com, CONNYGRAF.com.